Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Justice League issue number 16. Now, I told you all I was going to be getting this cover, this variant cover, because damn, it's gorgeous. And I gotta say, as beautiful as everybody looks, just look at Superman, dude. Look at that. We gotta get a statue of that one of these days. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. For reals, yo. Dude, Batman can put his cape in all sorts of different, flowing ways, whatever, but somehow people are always able to draw Superman's cape so much better, with so much more dynamic aspects to it. Just, he's a majestic character, dude. All right, unfortunately, you don't get a lot of Superman in here, but that's okay. I'm going to get into why that's a perfect thing, and so many others. So look, we got to talk about who actually made this book, and that's just not going to happen because I know I'm a little channel, and I doubt there's a lot of people from DC Comics looking at this. You know what I'm saying? But like, look at this. I have mentioned before how the red on black just ain't doing it for me, and the letters are too small, and they just keep on making it smaller and smaller. It's like, am I being trolled? Is DC trolling me? I'm not so narcissistic as I think that's the case, but man, like Scott Snyder and James Tynion are on writing. I can't see why Tynion is mentioned the second time. I just got back from wrestling practice with my kid, dude, my oldest boy, and I'm tired right now. I'm tired. Nope, not happening. Anyway, so this is a Hawk Girl book more than anything else. That's cool. You get a whole bunch from a few other people too. All right. First off, to just get a couple things out of the way, the other Martian dies. Okay, you got 2 green Martians left, and the one dies. The old one, the matriarch, so to speak, at this point dies. So John Johns is now officially, Martian Manhunter is officially the last green Martian. Man, like, he just found somebody else, and just have that ripped from you, bro. I know that Superman, last Kryptonian. No, you're not. Not even close. Just stop with that nonsense, all right? We keep on getting introduced to new... You even got a dog, damn it. You even got a dog, all right? John Johns is genuinely the last Green Martian. And he just finds a new one, like, an issue or 2 ago, and she's ripped away from him. Oh, man, I would hate to be Martian Manhunter. Yeah, you got all those powers, but you just got regret and self-loathing, and you just, not cool, man. Not cool. You got to become a shrink just to deal with your own issues. That's sad. We also get a little bit from, for crying out loud, where are we going with it? Oh, John, the other John in this, John Stewart. He's about to be arrested by the few members of the GL Corps who show up. And he's just like, not having it. Not yet. Look at all these crimes happening. And like, nobody's putting up with that. Nobody wants to hear it. It's like, well, then you should have called us first. Like, it's a shame, but the GL Corps in this book are actually being handled the way that real cops seem to handle things. It's not about righting wrongs. It's about respecting us. Think about this now. Just think about it. Hey, man, there's a crime going on over here. Okay, well, then you should have called us. Right now, we're responding to somebody calling the cops on you. Yeah, okay, I get it. But I was just looking, and I'm realizing, like, the only crime I'm guilty of is spying on people who, it turns out, there's drugs inside that house. Okay, but they called the cops on you because we can't go and invade them, so, blah, blah, blah. And you should have called us first. Stop making this about you, brah. There's a freaking drug den going on, and prostitution, and you name it, going on inside here. Yeah, tell it to the boys at the precinct. Mother fathead. It's cool, man, because they are intergalactic cops, and everything about the Green Lantern Corps, as much as I love the Green Lantern Corps, I love the fallacies also. And one of those fallacies is, we're the space cops, we've got jurisdiction here. Shut up. It's not about jurisdiction. It's about what's right and wrong. And Kendra Sanders actually handles that better than the GL Corps, in my personal opinion. You see, you finally get a resolution. This is the conclusion to this Hawk story. So if everybody's like, oh, I'm not a fan of the Hawk story thing, the Hawk world, I never cared. It's cool, man. We're going to get to that also in a hot minute. But Shiara's been doing some wrong things, right? Well, she gets called out on it. She has to come face to face with what she already knew. She is a hero, but even heroes can do bad things. Hi, look at Batman. We love Batman, but let's be realistic. This guy is a multi-billionaire, okay? B don't stand for bat. It stands for bucket loads of money, bruh. There are so many better ways that he can handle crime in Gotham. So many better ways. Instead, he spends all of his money on super suits to run around on his own volitions and punch poor people in the face. Look, on the outskirts, that's terrible. In reality, it makes for some great writing and some awesome art and amazing comic book character, right? But you look at the general sense of it, right? What Shiara does in this is she's trying to make Hawk World strong. She's trying to bring back what she had. And she knew the whole time what she's doing is wrong. But sometimes you just think to yourself, the ends do justify the means. Look, this guy is bad. If I kill him now, we're better off, right? But what kind of events are you setting in place? What kind of a precedent are you setting for the people who look up to you? And somebody always looks up to us. Somebody. And if you don't know who looks up to you, you haven't been very observant, and it's kind of criminal the way that you've been treating that person who does look up to you. Am I wrong? Am I really wrong? So Shiara realizes, she comes face to face with what she's been doing wrong, and their final act with the Absorbiscon is to actually fix everything. Now, the GL Corps wants to arrest her because they're all about the letter of the law. Kendra, she's not trying to look to play favorites because, oh, this is just an incarnation of me. This is my ancestor. This is whatevs. Okay, no. She looks at it from a very logical standpoint. Yeah, there's the letter of law, but there's also the spirit of the law. It's like the difference between arresting someone for jaywalking or just saying, hey, listen, I know that it's a lot easier to cross at this particular, road because you only have one way to look at instead of 8 ways to look at an intersection, 4 streets, but you got to look both ways at each street. Intersections are the worst place for pedestrians to have to cross the street. And you know this if you live in a big city. You know this for a fact. The best way to cross is in the middle of the highway where even if you got to cross 3 lanes of traffic, as long as there's no median, you're only looking one way. And then you get to the median, a safe spot, and then you look the other way, just one way. And if it's safe, you go. If it's not, you wait. That's it. That's that, right? But no, in order to make it easier for the cars, for cars to keep going where they're going, yeah, they do it this way. So, you could just give somebody a warning, be like, listen, I know it's safer to cross here, but just, please try to look out for cops because we don't want to have to stop and have to, if another cop is here, we got to arrest you, man, or give you a ticket. So think about it. There's the spirit of the law, and then there's the letter of the law. The spirit of the law is so much better, Hey, I'm trying to help out people who are, there's poor people, so I'm going to go to this park where there's a grill in the park, and I'm going to grill up some steaks that I personally bought, and I'm going to give them to these people. The law says you're allowed to make food for yourself in those public grills. You're not allowed to give food to other people because now we got to worry about OSHA and things like that. I'm feeding homeless people. I think that they don't care so much about OSHA right now, all right? So there's the spirit of the law and there's the letter of the law. And Kendra Sanders handles the spirit of the law expertly, perfectly. Why arrest her? She can do so much better just recognizing her mistake. Sometimes it's not about confining someone to a cell because they did something that you don't approve of or something that, oh, it was bad, but come on now. Read the book, man. This was excellent. And there's some times when someone has suffered enough. Shiara lost her world again. She lost the love of her life, Qatar Hall, the Thanagarian version of Hawkman. Ain't she lost enough? You got to go and put her in a cell, too, to add insult to injury? Yo. Sorry, brah. Nah. Hashtag Kendra was right. So this, look, man. So two things. One, the writing on this book is so much better. That ain't an insult to nobody. That is an insult to nobody. If somebody takes insult to that, sorry, I can't help you. All right? But it's about complimenting the new and saying really good effort at the old. Hey, I was still reading the book. I just had a lot of complaints. I have far fewer complaints right now with the current writing situation. And I'm just going to leave it at that. When you look at the writing, though, this was a Hawk Girl-centric book. Now, there's a lot of people who don't like that. And The thing I just want to mention on people not liking the whole Hawk World thing and things like that. Look, there are a bunch of people who are, they call themselves or they consider themselves or they act like DC Comics super fans and whatnot. Look, man, I hear you, brah. I really do. But if you're not into the Hawks, but you call yourself a DC fan, I gotta say, you're taking the easy way out. Superman's an easy character. Batman, for the most part, is an easy character. Oh, complicated as an individual, but reading the comic, it's a pretty easy comic to read. But books like the Hawks, anything that involves the Hawks, or even Aquaman, these are the ones that actually influence a much larger portion of everything, but specifically the Hawks. They encompass so much in the DC universe. Superman very rarely goes into, outside of Earth. Batman shouldn't. You know what I'm saying? Wonder Woman, like, what? Like, everything's always on Earth. So say you like DC Earth. Say you like DC Earth, but if you like the DC universe, there are a few characters who are more about the entire universe than the Hawk characters. Facts, brah. Facts. So, and in comics as much as they are. So I'm always, I don't know, I always kind of ponder when someone says, oh, I'm a huge Hawk, I'm a huge DC fan, but I don't like, the Hawkmen that much. I'm really sorry to hear that. I genuinely am. Anyway, as far as the way that this book is presented, where Hawkgirl is definitely the focus, but there is still a little bit with the two Johns in this book. Like as an Italian, I'm sorry, I'm just going to refer this back to, there's only two things Italians can refer things back to: mafia and cooking, all right? And I'm going to refer this to cooking. Like, we're going to keep the mob out of this, all right? What do you call it? When you're cooking, you got the 4 burners on your stove, man. There's the back burners and then there's the front burners. The back burners are the ones that you're not going to be paying as much attention to. So those are the ones that you use for simmering, right? Or for a long-term boiling. Just those are the ones you're not going to be paying attention to. But the ones in the 4 burners, the ones up front, those are the ones you can be paying attention to. Constantly mixing and adding ingredients and messing with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Generally messing with the program. But you can only really pay attention to one thing at a time. The way this book is written, it's like a master chef walking into a kitchen. You can't handle all 4 burners and the oven and the food prep table and all this other stuff going on at the same time. You can't unless you're smart. So you got the stuff on simmer. You got something on simmer, just, let's just keep this warm. And then, so you got, the two Johns, they're on simmer. You know what I'm saying? They're on the long term, okay, simmer, 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 let's just keep going. And then you got the main dish that you're working with, the food prep table and the actual main burner that you're working with at the moment, and that's Hawkgirl in this issue. And every issue, it's somebody different. And then you've always got the other characters who you got somebody in the oven. It's like, okay, we're getting this stuff ready. We're this stuff, like it's ready to go. Just as soon as this one is done, this is where I'm going to devote my attention to next, right? And then you got the stuff that's in the crock pot that, ain't going to be ready until much later on today. All right, I can literally, the house ain't gonna burn down if I leave the house while something's in the crock pot. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's like Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman. That's the Trinity in this particular case. So DC, like, forget DC. Justice League right now, like, we got a master chef in the kitchen, and like the art is beyond exceptional, everything, and but like everybody's being handled so perfectly. You got a whole book where you can't just focus on one person and ignore everything else. And you sure as hell can't have what we had before where everybody's getting something awesome. Can't do that. Can't do that. It's impossible. So I'm loving the format that DC is presenting to us right now and the stories that we're getting. There's still stuff that you got to be paying attention to, like this thing where Perpetua is coming up. Dude, you notice that thing changes, right? Like, they actually had it physically changed. I wonder if I could find it in a fairly decent amount of time up in here. Oh, I thought it was on that page. Derf, guess not. There it is. You notice that, can we get it so that we can actually see it? Hey, there we go. That's a little bit better. Screw you. Anyway, best I can do. That changes. And of course, it's not just interpretation. It actually physically changes. So I love that certain characters are being paid attention to at a specific time. So we just finished cooking the Hawk World thing, but we're being told, listen, Sanders, you're going to be put in the back burner for a little while, but we got something else coming up for you later. We're going to add some serious spices later. In the meantime, we got to focus on some Starman, or we got to focus on some Martian Manhunter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love this. I love this. The way it's being done is perfect. So, yeah, man, fantastic comic book. It's going to be hard to top this comic book. And I'm not just talking about, like, next issue is probably going to be better than this one. Who knows? But it's going to be hard to top what is being done in the Justice League comic book right now. It is top freaking tier. This is top shelf writing, art, everything. This is Justice League at its best. I haven't seen Justice League this good in a while. Just saying. And that's not to compare it to other runs. That's not what I'm trying to do here. Just saying, this is awesome. Good time to be a Justice League fan. Good time to be a DCU fan. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.